The views that are expressed on What's on Edigga's Mind are that of the show's host and does not necessarily reflect the views of BS3 TV Network. Viewer discretion is advised. What is good? What is good? What is good, good people? It is I, the man that you all know I love, Edigga, and this is another great episode of What's on Edigga's Mind, live on BS3 TV. First and foremost, I want to say shout out to everybody who is tuned in, everybody who is watching. If I am looking up, I am looking at my screen. No, I am not going crazy. I know a lot of people saying, "What are you looking at?" I'm looking at my 50-inch TV. Yes, I need to be extra, but not so much extra because a lot is on my mind today. And if you are living under a rock or you just don't know, our country is in trouble. Our country is in trouble. What I mean by that is, and today's topic that I need to talk about is, are our children safe? Are our children, our babies, young ones, safe? We all heard or seen across the news that tragic Tuesday of another school shooting, a very horrific event that happened, and another horrific event happened 2 weeks right after that in the city of Buffalo, New York. What is going on? That is the burning question. What is going on? What is on the minds of people? Joining me tonight is my brother, my good friend, my fellow podcaster. I share a seat on his podcast, which is the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. And I'm talking about my brother, and I'm going to bring him on in a minute. Terry, I forget, and like I said in the first episode, I forget how far he lives. I still think Terry lives around the corner from me, but I am thousands and thousands of miles away. But he is my brother. Met Terry some time ago, and we just clicked because of our dedication to this podcast game and our love for it. So I'm gonna bring him on. Everybody, the guru, my man Terry. What's good with you, bro?
What's up?
That's good with you, man. Hey, man. A lot is on my mind today, and of
Yep.
course, you guys were talking about it today on the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. I
Yeah,
apologize. By this being Memorial Day weekend,
of course.
had some family over, and
Yeah,
I had grill duties.
yeah,
But I did catch some of the podcasts, and you guys touched on some very deep issues. Um, so I'll ask you to come on tonight and speak. Both of us are fathers.
yeah.
You're a father of a young one.
Mhm.
I am a dad as well. My kids are a little older, but at the end of the day, you know, they're still our children. They still
Right.
our kids.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play this clip on YouTube that talks a little bit about what happened. Like I said, if you was living under a rock in the city of Uvalde, Texas, mass school shooting in Robb Elementary School, some 18 kids were killed, and I'm saying kids like
They were babies.
babies,
Yeah, right.
you know, innocent children who did not know that that day would be their last day on earth. So I'm gonna play this clip, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about this.
On Tuesday, May 24th at 11:28, suspect just west of here wrecks his vehicle, pickup truck that he took from his grandmother. He had just shot his grandmother in the face. She's alive. She's stable at this point. He jumps out the passenger side of the truck. According to witnesses, he's got a long arm, rifle, and a bag. Later we find out it's ammunition. He walks around, he sees two witnesses at the funeral home across the street from where he wrecked. He engages and fires towards them.
911 call at 11:30. There was a crash, man with a gun. 11:31, the suspect reaches last row of vehicles in the school parking lot. 11:31, the suspect shooting began at the school while patrol vehicles got to the funeral home. At 11:33 is when the suspect entered the school, began shooting into room 111 or 112. It's not possible to determine from the video angle that we have at this point in time. He shot more than 100 rounds based on the audio evidence. In 11:35, 3 police officers entered the same door as the suspect entered. All 3 of those police officers worked for the Uvalde Police Department. They were later followed by another 4, a team of Uvalde police officers, 3, and also a county deputy sheriff. So a total of 7 officers were on the scene.
They hear gunfire, they take rounds, they move back, get cover, and during that time, they approach where the suspect is at. Officers are there, the initial officers, they receive gunfire. They don't make entry initially because of the gunfire they're receiving. But we have officers calling for additional resources. Everybody that's in the area. So during that time that they're making those calls to bring in help to solve this problem and stop it immediately, they're also evacuating students, teachers.
At 12:03, officers continue to arrive in the hallway, and there were as many as 19 officers at that time in that hallway. The caller identified, I'll not say her name, but she was in room 112, called 911 at 12:03. The duration of the call was 1 minute 23 seconds. She called back in room 12, advised there were multiple dead. 12:13, again she called on the phone. Again at 12:16, she called back and said there was 8 to 9 students alive. At 12:19, the 911 call was made, and another person in room 111 called. I will not say her name. She hung up when another student told her to hang up. At 12:21, you could hear over the 911 call that 3 shots were fired. At 12:36, the initial caller called back, child called back, was told to stay on the line and be very quiet. She told 911 that he shot the door. At approximately 12:43 and 12:47, she asked 911 to please send the police now. They breached the door using keys that they're able to get from the janitor because both doors were locked. Though both of the classrooms that he shot into were locked,
So full
when
of shit.
officers arrived. They killed the suspect. 12:51 is very loud and sounds like the officers are moving children out of the room.
Immediately, numerous officers. Now it turns into a rescue operation. How do we save these children? How do we save these children?
And we're back. That footage was
Watch.
courtesy of CBS News.
Mm.
So there you have it. From A to Z, what happened. Um, Fortunately, some children survived. And speaking of which, one I think it was like one little girl. Um, they she and this is so traumatizing for her that she took blood and smeared it on herself to say that she died
did.
or she was killed,
Mhm.
just so the attacker um didn't know that she was alive. How do you live through life after that? I know that she will be traumatized. That she had to see that and she had to do that.
Mm.
But I need to commend her, first of all. Quick thinking,
Very resourceful. Yeah.
very resourceful. Like, you know, taking blood, smeared it on her to say I'm dead. But you have to go through that, you know. And the other thing that I'm thinking about, Terry, is the fact that this is an elementary school. These children were approximately 10 years old, I believe.
Yeah.
And, you know, why?
The story is one of the reasons why he did this
Mhm.
is because he was pissed and he became withdrawn and all of that because he could not graduate.
Hmm.
That's one of the reasons why he was mad because he couldn't graduate. And that's where it started.
So I'm getting mixed feeling. I'm getting mixed reports because another person said it's because he was poor.
But they were that's what I'm saying. The fact
Because
that he couldn't graduate, that's one of the reasons. But he was being bullied too.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you a little backstory. I was bullied in school, all throughout school, elementary, junior high. I hated junior high and high school. Bullied. I was picked on, and I was poor. My mom did not work. She relied on government assistance, state assistance, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
There was some nights, Terry, that I went to bed hungry,
Mhm.
and I'm saying this. I'm saying this publicly. There were some mornings where we woke up and we only had collard greens for breakfast, or they said that my mother made money that we couldn't afford to have school lunch or school breakfast.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, there was a lady at the cafeteria who knew about my family, who said, when you come in, ask for me. If I'm not here, go to this person to make sure I'm eating.
Mhm.
I was that poor. The reason why I'm saying that, Terry, is because although I was poor, I didn't want to pick up a goddamn gun and shoot people.
Mhm.
Because I was poor, I, I graduated.
Right.
I made a way,
Right.
but I did not pick up a weapon and take it out on people, even when I was bullied.
Right.
And I really want people to hear this. Just because it happened to you doesn't mean you have to take it out on people. Now, when I was being bullied, oh, I wanted to do some of the most horrible things to the people that I was being bullied by. Understand that.
Yeah.
I didn't get bullied. I wasn't bullied to the fact that, oh, okay, well, they're bullying me. I'm not going to get them. I'm going to go get little innocent kids.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. That displaced aggression. That's what that is.
So you being bullied and you not graduating, you're poor. You got to take it out on innocent little children. And the question came up at my job saying, oh man, he died. Good.
Yeah.
They killed him.
They killed
Good.
finally. That finally. Oh, okay.
They killed him. Good.
Yeah. He had to leave here.
Because all of that to me sound like one word: excuses.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of those.
You know, and then if he would have lived, oh, he's insane. He's crazy. But no.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to begin to sit here and feel sad for him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, all of that I have said about myself, yes, that's just me. I know that tons and tons of people, you know, have gone through that, been poor, been picked on, been bullied in school and all that. But that was my story. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'll be goddamn if I'm going to sit here and say I never had the urge, never had the inkling to pick up a gun and walk outside to shoot innocent people, much less children.
Yeah.
That's where it hits me at right there. That you being poor, you being bullied in school.
I was poor. Yeah. I was poor too. I mean, but check it out, E. You think about, you know, we live in a mental health society now. Everything is surrounded by mental health.
Right.
You think about you talk about, I mean, going to your point about bullying and being bullied, being poor, and all that junk. Ruby Bridges, you know who that is, right?
Right.
She's the little girl at integrated school. Just because you guys don't know who that is. She was the first black girl down there in Mississippi or Alabama, one of them, and she was bullied every single day. And didn't take not one inkling to shoot nobody. But this particular school shooting, there's a lot of accountability not being handled by a lot of people. There was a story of the teacher who heard the crash, went to a door, saw him, went back into the classroom, grabbed her phone, left the door unlocked. That's the very same door he came through. There's no accountability. You don't hear that. Right? These cops stood outside for 45 minutes while this kid shot this school up.
And did nothing.
No accountability for that. And ain't nobody even gonna talk about that, right? The commanding officer at the time told his boss, well, it is now a barricaded situation, no longer an active shooter. When he said that, the cops was like, nah, well, if he's barricaded, we don't need us rushing in there, right? When he said that, though, he was still shooting kids.
Wow.
This monster went into one of these classrooms and shot one of the teachers, Eva Morales, I think it is, and another teacher. Before he shot her, he got down on his knee, and said good night before he shot her. There's so much stuff, and there's so many things wrong here. Where do you begin? There's no way to begin. Like you can go all the way back to Salvador getting access to these AR-15s,
right,
and all this ammunition, and all this stuff. Now he's talking to a friend over in Europe via text
Right.
the whole
And
time.
that's what they
He's telling
said.
me, right? And I'm like, okay, that's where do you get an AR-15 from? Because there's no mention anywhere this young man having a job.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so how did he gain access to two AR-15 and all his ammunition to be able to go and to kill these kids? Now, you asked the question, why these babies? You know what I'm saying? Because just like the cops that were there, he was a coward.
Mm.
He was a coward. He didn't want to face the ones that were bullying him because he knows he probably would have got his ass whooped. He probably had to have an AR-15.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But society dictates that in order for you to make a mark on it, you can do something stupid.
Right.
That's what he did. And just like the Buffalo shooter the other week.
Right.
He was streaming his shit on Twitch
Mm-hmm.
until Twitch shut it down. But they got like 2 minutes of the shooting on Twitch.
Wow.
Where and this is a question that I asked today on the podcast today. It was like, what's next? What do we do? But before we get into that though, you were talking about before we went live about how as a parent, how would it affect me?
Right.
Can you imagine these parents who drop their kids off in the school parent line, right? Kiss their babies goodbye, and they walk out they get out the car and they walk into the school. Can you imagine that being the last time?
The very last time you will see your child.
And not only that, on this particular day, they had their school award show. I mean, award banquet thing.
Right.
And so they were giving away perfect attendance and certificate of achievements and all this other stuff. These babies are getting awards,
Right. Right.
And hours later, they're being bombarded with gunfire. Like if it was my baby, I don't know, and there's a story. There was a father who went to the cops, begged the cops, if you won't do nothing, give me the armor. I'll go in there myself.
And that's probably me. Well, ain't no probably in it. That's me.
No problem. We're going in there.
But now my question now, Terry, is, we and I hate to sound like this, and I hate to say it. What is the government doing?
Well, the government is at his own throat. You know what I'm saying? The government will cut off his nose to spite the face, because this shooting happens. There's not one senator on Capitol Hill. They're all on vacation.
And that statement right there, what you just said, everybody is on vacation. What if this was one of their children?
Well, if it were Terry Crews, you'd be in Cancun.
I don't understand this. Like, I don't sense the urgency. I don't sense the urgency. When these shootings happen, we looking at Sandy Hook, Buffalo.
Yeah, there's so many in the
Taliban,
name. Parkland, San Bernardino. I mean, there's too many in the name.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't sense the urgency. How many people have to die before someone come up with the whoa, wait a minute. What's the number? You see what I'm saying? And I'm almost certain, like, Buffalo happened 2 weeks ago, right after this.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain he was watching that.
Copycat. Yeah.
He was watching that. He was like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
On a level, I think it's different, because the guy from Buffalo, his was racially motivated.
Right.
He wanted to kill us. You know what I'm saying?
But I
And the other
think
kid was like, "I'm just gonna shoot up a kid."
right. But
Elementary school.
and that's a good point, Terry. But I really think that in hindsight, like low key, okay, he did it. Why can't I?
Yeah,
You know,
he thought I know he didn't think he was gonna get away alive, but
right?
and then and here's a dynamic nobody's ever hasn't thought of. Why do you think he's dead? He's a person of color.
Mm,
He's a person of color. They had to kill him.
mm-hmm.
You
And the
know?
other one in Buffalo, he's in
Oh,
jail, right?
yeah,
He's in
yeah, yeah,
prison.
yeah, yeah. He went to court, had on his N95 mask and everything. Yeah, yeah, he's good.
Mm.
Breathing, living, breathing.
Now, when you hear about these shootings, of course, the number one question pops up. You know, strict gun laws. I'm all for it, but how many guns are out there already?
Well, here's the thing, man. I think I'm a firm believer in gun control too.
Right.
But you hear people a bunch of right wingers say, "Well, they coming for my gun. What is what is strict the gun laws going to do? It ain't gonna stop nothing." Da, 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 da. Man,
Right.
listen.
Right. Right.
If you since this is such a capitalist country, raise the price on these things.
Right.
Raise the price on the bullet. Make that bullet $5,000
Well,
and see how many they can get.
I hear what you're saying, but you know, my thing is, if they want it bad enough, they're
They'll
going to
get it.
get it.
Yeah,
I
but it should
think
be. But I think gun control comes from and gun reform comes from even if they do get it, there should be some very very strict um, things that happen after it.
I think I'm with you on that, but I think it'll be hard, extremely hard, to get the gun in the first place.
It should be.
Or why in the blue hell do you need an AK-47?
Or AR-15 for that matter. Why? What's the
Right.
purpose?
What is the purpose? What is
Yeah.
the purpose for you to get military grade weaponry?
Good question.
So perfect case in point. I walk into a gun store and I'm talking to every gun imaginable, you know?
Mhm.
And I come out and I say, I want so and so. I want the AK-47. I want the I don't know guns. I want this.
Yeah.
The first question that comes out of the and we go back to why you need this gun. That should be the first question that come out the mouth.
Right.
Why
But
do
it
you need this gun? What is the purpose? Are you in the military? There should be a strict, very strict guideline for you to get this type of weaponry.
and that's where gun reform starts. But when you said the first question out of their mouth should have been why you need this gun. Right wingers will tell you now you're breaching the Second Amendment because I have the right to carry any gun I want. You know what I'm saying? That's and just playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. That's what those right wingers are going to say to you.
So we just give them. I'm just saying. I hear what you're
That's
saying, Terry.
that's what Texas does.
Right. So we give this person the gun. Couple months later, another school shooting, another grocery store shooting, another church shooting,
Yeah.
another concert shooting.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how many people have to die?
Here's what it boils down to, is that we have to vote for change. We have to get these people out of here. We have to get people like Governor Abbott out of the governor's mansion. You have to get Senator Ted Cruz out of office. You got to, because this is your history will repeat itself.
Oh yeah.
Unless there's some changes made, some gun reform is made,
Right.
whatever.
I understand.
I'm not telling, and for people that are listening to this, when I say I'm on the side of gun control, when I say that, I mean I'm not saying to take away anybody's guns. Hell, I got guns,
Right.
right? But these military assault rifles, nobody needs them. Even if you're a hunter, you don't
I,
need that.
I was
Who in
about
the
to
hell
say
gonna
that.
shoot a deer with an AR-15 and eat the meat?
Right.
Nobody.
I
You know what I'm
I
saying?
I
It's
I
stupid.
never gone hunting. I never had the desire to do so,
Yeah,
you know. But
I never had it either.
why do you need such weaponry? Why?
I don't
And
know.
it not to cut you off.
You good?
Every time when I think about this situation, I think about Rittenhouse for some reason.
Yeah.
Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse pops in my head.
Yeah. Well, he's
How
the
this
first of many. He's the first of many.
right?
Oh,
How this clown just drove across state lines
mhm,
with a AR-17, what AR-15, whatever the hell,
mhm,
walking throughout the street, did not do anything to this child.
mhm.
You know, why? What? First of all, why do you need the gun? First of all, if you go in there for peace, go there for peace. You don't need a gun for peace.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Right.
Second thing, you go there, and then you on trial. You know, crying your little trying to cry a tear out your eyeball.
Yeah. It was
You
funny.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. He was bad. It was a bad acting job.
you know, and I like I said, I watched the show today. My heart, my prayers going out. The first one, Kevin
Yeah. He took it.
Kevin
He was
Peoples,
really, yeah, he was very passionate about it. 20 minutes from his house.
right?
Yeah.
20 minutes from his house.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
my heart and prayers goes out to him because I could not, I just couldn't imagine that close proximity. And
Was so dead.
there's some things that happen here in Baltimore that was very close proximity ish, if I can say.
Mhm.
But and then in Texas, not in Texas, but in Buffalo, I know a good friend of mine right now, Vet. Shout out to Vet Green. She lives in Buffalo, and where it happened, everybody frequent that grocery store.
Yeah.
There's a very known grocery store in Buffalo. And when it came out, the first person that I contacted when the news broke was her.
Right.
You know, and when I text her, I said, I just want to make sure you good, you know, and she didn't hit me up, but she didn't hit me back right off, you know.
Mm.
And I'm like, whoa, she ain't hit me back. But later on, she hit me back and she said, you know, it's some crazy times here in, you know, in Buffalo.
Right.
Uh, you know, this is crazy, you know, and we was talking about it. Now it just raises the question now, you know, we talking babies, man.
Yeah.
We talking innocent children
Right.
who didn't know who this person was, could give a rat's ass who he was. You
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that could happen anywhere now.
Right.
That could happen anywhere because almost like Buffalo and almost like Texas, somebody is watching this and saying,
Here's a head scratcher. But let's get into this though, because we're winding down on time here. Let's get into this.
right.
Um, if you are watching this and you holler pro-life and this don't bother you, don't holler pro-life no more.
Mm-mm.
Because you're willing to tell a woman that she has to have a child. No matter the situation, she has to have that baby. But yet you ain't got enough gumption to protect them same babies in these schools. You cannot holler pro-life. Get out of here. If you hollering pro-life, if you listen to this, hey Willette, if you are listening to this and you holler pro-life, get out of here. If pro-life and this did not bug you, if you don't feel the need for gun control or some kind of reform, you can't be pro-life. You can't.
Right. If this don't tug at your heart
You
in
can't.
some way,
And all these Republicans, these right wingers,
mm,
they're trying to take our guns. Oh, all they care about is it's capitalism. Capitalism. That's all they care about. It's just darn money. But what about these babies though? Taking so long. We got into a little bit of that in the beginning. 45 minutes, they said.
Right. I was about to bring that up. 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
It is, the cliche, Terry, if you're not a part of the solution,
You're damn part of the problem, bro.
you are part of the problem. You are the problem.
All day. Yeah.
If you're standing out there twiddling your thumbs and trying to, this is what you was trained for. This is what you went to the academy for.
Yeah.
And if all of this is going on, you need to get your ass up out.
Yeah. You shouldn't be doing it.
You shouldn't be doing this. 45, that's a long damn time. 45 minutes of trying to decide what to do. You in the wrong type of work. Anybody. If you're second guessing, you standing outside and all of this is going on. 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. You can't pay me. I'll be fighting. They could have been shot or killed. Hey, you know what's funny? Willett, the sheriff said they could have been shot or killed. That's your job. Your job. That's your job. Blue Lives Matter. That's your job.
So I'm almost certain that, and I never had, again, we was just talking about this. I had a very deep passion of being a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
Little kids, you ask them what you want to be when you grow up. Remember that question?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be a policeman. No, I never had the desire to be.
Right.
Although I see it on TV, they was tough. They was running, shooting guns and all that. I was woo. No, that ain't my life. But that's your job.
It's your job.
This is what you signed up for.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't be scared now.
Protect and serve.
Say that again, Terry.
Protect and serve. That's what it's supposed to do. It's no different than a doctor taking the Hippocratic Oath. It's the same thing.
It's okay for this monster to go in, shoot all of these kids, and for y'all to be scared now. That's what we doing.
If you, according to the Uvalde police, yes, they were not going in there. But there's also stories, and all this stuff is unconfirmed. I guess it's unconfirmed, where there were cops that were in the building, who were getting their kids out of the school and leaving the other kids there.
Oh my God.
What kind of nonsense is that right there? You mean to tell me that a bunch of cops went into the school, they didn't want to stop the gunman, but you went there and got your children out of the school and left the other kids there? Really?
Okay, time out. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me it was other cops in there?
Yep.
Who was okay? So I'm about to be very ebonic right about now.
Not ebonic.
Strapped.
Yeah.
They had guns.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me they was getting their own kids, leaving other kids? What happened?
Hello.
What happened to, okay, I'm taking if I could grab everybody up out of here.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What is going on, man? Like, is it me?
No, it's not you. It's apparently it's mental health, and I'm not saying that mental health is the thing, because it is, because I struggle with it. If a coward, there were so many cowards that day. It's not even funny. And when we talking the gunmen, we talking the cops, we talking about the commanding officer, talking about all of them. Cowardly and no accountability. But what's next?
Right.
Willette, Facebook user. What's next? What do we do? Do you strap the teachers? Do we put what do we do? How do
That's
we
it, and
stop
that's
this?
right. That's a good question because in a perfect world of defense, I would say yes.
Strap him up, huh?
Yeah.
And me and Kevin talked about that. We talked about that today, and Kevin was like, "Yeah, he got a friend who's a teacher, and they said teachers shouldn't be strapped up because they already overworked, and
Right,
underpaid,
right,
and
right.
all
And
that."
who's to say
And
that
I
they
get
can
that.
zap out at
I
any
get,
given
yeah, they
moment?
really can. I
Right,
get that.
right.
But we also was talking about getting the National Guards, armed guards, are armed military personnel to stand guard at these schools. This is crazy. There's enough National Guardsmen. There's enough um, of military personnel lying around here to where we can get and hire these vets that come back from war and got PTSD, whatever. Hire these vets that need jobs instead of these vets being on the street and sleeping
It's
behind
enough
convenience
of them.
stores. Give them a job.
Yeah. It's enough of them. You're
Give them a
right.
job. Come
It's
on, this
yeah.
is crazy. But until we get the appropriate government in office, there's nothing going to change.
Wow.
Until we have enough courage to vote out Ted Cruz,
Mm.
to vote out Governor Abbott, to vote out anybody else that believe that nonsense over there on the right side,
And
and ain't nothing gonna change.
we
Nothing.
preach this every time, and I don't know. It's almost like I'm talking to this brick wall.
Yeah.
It's a reason why we're saying get them out or vote. But a lot of people are so fixated on my vote don't count.
Mm.
You know, if you want something to happen, if you want change, you have to create the change.
Right. You gotta be the change.
You got to be the change.
Yep.
You can't talk about it. You can't talk about it. You have to create the change. And let's say we could start with changing the gun laws. We have to go through more loops to get an abortion than to get an assault weapon. It's reported he turned
Yep.
18 and went and got the weapon within
48 hours.
48 hours.
And
Wow.
in Texas, there are some states that have stricter gun laws that you have to go, like Illinois, for example.
Right.
When you in Illinois, you have to go and you have to fill out a application. You gotta wait. I think it's 6 weeks,
Right.
and then once you get your Floyd card there in Illinois, it's called Floyd firearms ID. And,
Right.
and in order for you to have a gun in Illinois, you have to have a Floyd card legally. Have a gun.
Right.
There's a lot of people that don't have guns. That's illegal, but legally have a gun. I remember, when I was when I worked at Walmart years ago. In order for me to go to sporting goods and sell ammunition to somebody, I had to have
You
my
had to
Floyd
have
card.
it. Yeah. You had to
I mean,
have some
so
type of certification.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But they got away from that. And Texas, they ain't got nothing. Texas, you can walk into a Bass Pro Shop in Texas
Mm.
and buy a rifle, buy an assault rifle in
Wow.
Bass Pro Shop.
Wow.
You where?
She says she's in Texas. No such thing. Hold up.
Texas. Hold on, Willette. No, wait, that's pause. Time out. I need a timeout. Willette, what are you doing in Texas? Oh no. No.
Well,
What are you
I
doing in Texas? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what
What is
now
this?
she's supposed to be in Texas?
No,
I'm
Willette's
lost.
supposed to be in North Carolina.
Okay. I moved to Texas like 6 months ago. Okay. 6 months ago.
Why? Okay.
I'm so lost
We
right
gotta
now.
talk. You know what? Me and you better sister girl.
Yeah,
Go
get
ahead,
ready
E.
for it, Willette.
No. She
The only thing I need to say right now is people, we got to do better.
Yeah.
Um it's crazy. Like I can't, she said, ministry and work. That's why she went to Texas, Terry. Sorry.
Okay.
He's still mad with that.
Supposed to be in Texas with that. Supposed to be in Texas. Anyway. But you know what? That's what we gotta do. And you know, my closing remarks is this here is we have to make change. Like we can echo that all
Right.
day. We have to vote these people out. I mean, think about this for a second.
Right.
If you had a baby and you needed formula, there was a shortage, right? There was a shortage that just had happened.
Right.
These right wingers, these Republicans, decided, no, they don't need that. We're gonna vote against it,
Right.
and they voted against it.
Right.
They're not acting in your best interest. They don't care about you or your baby. They don't care.
Right.
I mean, Governor, listen, and since you in Texas now, Will, that hurts my heart. I'm telling you, I ain't gonna lie, that sting a little bit. It would, Beto O'Rourke, that dude,
Mm-hmm.
man, y'all get that man in there. Cruz got to go. Cruz is just is a complete idiot. He laughed. There's a video of him laughing in the face of a concerned parent at a restaurant when he was talking about that.
And that just goes to show, you know, see, and I hate to sound like this and I hate what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't think anything will change until it happened to them. And when I say them,
yeah.
I'm talking to
Yeah.
the right wingers, the left wingers, or whoever wingers
Whoever.
and the
It don't matter.
Republicans.
We
When
got some punk-ass Democrats too.
right. When one of your children get killed, that's when all of everything is going to stop. The world is going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid if there's a mass shooting again, and it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
And one of these Republicans, Democrats, public figures, and I hate to sound like this, and I hate to say it, one of their children, grandkids, nieces, nephews, somebody is going to get killed, and you're going to hear about it.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to happen?
They're going to move mountains then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to put, like I said, nothing happens until it happens to them, or it happens to one of them, or someone they love. Notice that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not my problem. Or it didn't happen to me. Okay, so when it happens to you, when it knocks on your door, be prepared to answer it. Coming back is my final word in just a moment. So here's the thing, people. We've witnessed in over a couple weeks now 2 mass shootings in America. We have to create some type of change. We cannot let this continue to go on. Enough is enough. And I mean that wholeheartedly and sincerely. I enough is enough. But the time of talking about it, the time of dwelling on it, all of that needs to cease. We need to create some type of change. We need to come together. We need to vote some people out if we have to. We have to we have to implement some type of change, because if we don't, if we constantly keep talking about it and not do anything about it, things like this are going to happen repeatedly. Don't be about it, do it. Don't say what could have happened. Don't say, well, if this happened, no. We as people, notice I said people, I didn't say black people, white people, yellow people. We as people need to create the change. That's it. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this second episode of What's on Edigga's Mind. Joining me was my special guest, my man, my brother, my partner in podcast and live stream,
So,
Mr. Terry, the guru. He is the host of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. Make sure you check them out. And I'm saying them like
damn,
I'm
like you
not
ain't part of it. Yeah.
like I ain't a part of it. Like I don't have a little corner in
Yeah.
the broadcast. Every Sunday at 2:30.
Yep.
2:30 Central Standard Time, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. And make sure you are here, right here with me on What's on Edigga's Mind every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on BS3 TV. Hey, a couple ways you could watch it. Go on Facebook at BS3 Network, on YouTube at BS3 Network, or Roku. Download the Roku app on your devices if you have a Roku device. Download that app and watch all the great shows on this great network. Hey, from myself, the man that you all know and love, Edigga, and my special guest, Terry. Hey, we want to say peace. And I see you want to I smile at you, want to holler at you.
There you
I don't
go.
even
I
know
was
my,
wondering what else coming.
I holler at you when I smile at you. Is that the catchphrase? I don't forgot my catchphrase. I'm
That's
so
your
baffled.
catchphrase. How you gonna forget that?
Right.
Go ahead, in the show. In the show.
All right.
Get-